this week, tariffs have gone into effect on goods from more than 90 countries. And the US now is its highest tariff rate since the 1930s. Now, the exact tariffs have changed around a lot, but tariffs in one form or another have been in place against a lot of the goods that the US is importing for months now. So, why isn't it showing up in the inflation data? This is the topic of an article that I just wrote for Bloomberg Business Week, and I went on a quest to see where the tariffs have gone. Now, the great economist Justin Wolfers told me that there are 3.5 places that tariffs can go. So I thought I would start there. Place number one is foreign companies. Now, the Trump administration has long claimed that foreign companies would pay for the tariffs. The idea being that, yes, US companies pay the tax on the goods that they import from foreign companies, but that foreign companies would give US companies a discount in order to offset the cost of those tariffs. This might sound strange, but it's not so crazy if you think about the fact that the US is the top importer of goods from China, Mexico, Canada, Germany, Japan, and dozens of countries. And if you think about telling a company that the top buyer of their goods might walk away from the table, that might seem like an offer a lot of countries and companies can't refuse, except apparently they have. There is something called the import price index where you can actually see the price that foreign companies are charging to US companies to import their goods. And if these companies were giving US companies a big discount, we would see that index going down, but it's not going down, it's flat. In fact, it's going up a little bit. It doesn't seem like foreign companies are paying any of the cost of the tariffs. Option number two is US companies. Now, if you're a company and you're suddenly paying more to import the things you need from overseas, you have two options. One, you can pass that cost along to consumers, to us. Number two, you can just eat that cost and just accept lower profits. Now, earnings statements have been coming in from companies for the last few weeks, and for the most part, they look really good. At the same time, costs don't seem to be getting passed on to customers. So, what's going on? Well, I talked to Chad Bown at the Peterson Institute, and he said a lot of companies stockpiled a lot before President Trump took office. So, a lot of it could be that companies have not yet started footing the bill for tariffs, but they will soon if they haven't started already. And there's actually quite a risk for companies in passing prices along to consumers. You risk, alienating your customers, hurting your sales, or giving a leg up to a competitor. Also, if you're a company, you don't know where tariffs are going to land yet. They have been changing so much every day. You don't want to overshoot. You don't want to undershoot. You have to kind of figure out where to land, and it's really hard to do that right now. Still, eventually, the costs do end up probably trickling down to us. That is option number three for tariffs. That means we can expect to pay more for the things that we buy. But there is a final way that tariffs can show up in our economy. It is the half that Justin Wolfers talked about. And it's really hard to spot because, in fact, it is the absence of things. If tariffs get too high, companies might just decide that it's not affordable for them or not worth the trouble for them to import things anymore. You just have a smaller selection of avocados from Mexico or maple syrup from Canada or cheese from France. One thing's for sure, we will see the effect of these tariffs showing up in our lives, but when we will see these effects and what they will look like, that remains to be seen.